Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another videos, another paid request, this time for Arthur. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, tier list, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for a 2011 film called Husk, which is one of those After Dark horror fest movies. And I will say this, I don't like the ending of this movie. I have other issues with it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be on the flip side, and it's at least very short, like an hour and 19 minutes with the credits. It gets pretty quickly out of the gate into getting stuff happening. But the problem with that is there's no character development, so you don't know who these characters are. So it's hard to really care about their plight. But the plot of the film, you have 5 people, they're in a car, and they talk for like a minute, and then crows hit the car, hit the windshield, they crash, and there's a big old cornfield. One of their buddies left, hasn't come back yet, so 2 wait at the vehicle and 2 go into the cornfield. Let me tell you something, you never go in a cornfield. There's either children of corn in there or all sorts of shit, but they do. So 2 go into the cornfield, and they find this creepy looking scarecrow. They find this old farmhouse that looks like the farmhouse from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 movie. At least the inside of it does. And they find someone sewing. I'm like, is that Leatherface? Is he sewing his mask? No. It's their buddy not saying anything and sewing. They're like, what the hell's going on? Meanwhile, the 2 by the vehicle, they're stupidly decided to enter the cornfield as well. I believe, fuck that shit. I'd be in the fucking vehicle. Fuck the corn. I don't want to be in the cornfield. I want all the bugs and shit and not be able to see where the hell I'm going. One thing leads to another. It's a killer scarecrow movie, as well as a little bit of, obviously supernatural happening. There's one character that gets these psychic visions to showcase the flashbacks. Here's the thing with this movie. Number one, I don't mind the location they shot it in. There's some nice shots to showcase the dilapidated farmhouse and the lines of corn as far as you can see. And I thought the location was decent for a horror film. The acting, I thought was alright. I've seen much worse acting in movies like this. Didn't predict who would die first. There's a little bit of blood, but it's not like decapitations and arms being ripped off or something, but a little bit. It seemed like the movie, which I thought was much better, in the 80s Scarecrows, 1988 film. But instead of these sort of military guys, it was these students. I don't know why the fuck the one guy who is the teen DT guy, he becomes the lead, which I thought was a nice change of pace, because usually he'd be the second or third to die, but the guy with the glasses is a bit more DT. So, like me, he becomes the lead, so that was a nice change of pace. But I don't know why he's having psychic visions. It's kind of like Jeepers Creepers, or even Jeepers Creepers 2. Like, why was the girl just having psychic visions and seeing Justin Long on the side of the road and stuff? It just, apparently if Supernatural's around you, you'll just, a random person will get psychic visions. Why don't all of them? This happens a lot in these movies where if this thing wants to kill you, why it's telling you, let's tell you my secrets, what the fuck happened here? Why? You want to kill these people. Why are you telling them your secrets? Like, who and what is giving them the psychic visions? Supposed to be God? I'm talking about like all movies like this. And why just to one person? Why do they only give the psychic vision to one person? Why don't you give it to all of them so they all know what's going on? It's always these things that come up just because the plot says so. Again, Jeeper Creeper 1, you have the psychic lady. Why does she only see some things but doesn't see other things? Jeepers Creepers 2, why does the girl on the school bus, why does she see these visions? What made that happen? Why was she the only one on the bus to see these visions? Who and what gave her the visions? Say with this, who and what gave him the psychic visions? Why did they give him it? To save him? If you want to save all of them, why don't you give all of them the psychic visions so they're all on the same page? They all know what's going on. It's just one of the things like, write it in. Explain. I don't know. I don't give a shit. It's in there now. But it doesn't make any sense. Who gives a shit? It's this Killer Scarecrow movie. Just fuck it. One thing I did like that I thought was interesting was the way the Scarecrows are created. What they will do is they will kill someone, possess them, then they stumble back to the farmhouse. They go upstairs, and then they sew their own mask, and they put nails in their fingers, so it becomes like a claw. So like they'll hammer nails into their fingers, so the sharp ends, and then they'll be like claws, and then they put the bag on their head. I don't know, something about that was at least a different change of pace. Was a bit original. And I'm like, okay, it's a neat idea. Just part of this curse thing where this has to happen. Why? Well, I mean, I guess the answer is why does anything happen? But that one at least was a bit more interesting instead of just give them the psychic visions. We gotta have them give flashbacks somehow. But then it's kind of because there's not that many people. I mean, think about it. There's 5 people. One immediately disappears, and then one not too soon gets killed off. So for the good chunk of it, it's 3 people left, and there's a whole lot of kind of what are we going to do next? We're in the house. What are we going to do next? They go in the basement. They find a dead body there. Then the DTT is seeing these visions. Maybe we should make a run for it. Maybe we shouldn't make a run for it. It kind of becomes fairly boring in a way. Despite a short running time, you're kind of going, okay, what do we do next? It seems like something that maybe would work better as a short film instead of a full-length film. I mean, short enough as is, an hour and 19 minutes. Even then, it didn't feel like there was enough there to warrant its full-length running time. Again, this felt like something that would be better as a short film. Because, like I said, there's a bit where they drive through the corn, and the guy sees who he thinks is his girlfriend, even though she got a big old fucking bag on her head, and she got fucking nails coming out of her fingers, but he stands there like a dumbass, and he dies from his own fucking stupidity. And then you have the last 2 left, and they're back to the farmhouse, and they're trying to figure out what to do next. And somehow the kid, I guess because of the visions, he just... And then he also equates it to chess, where only one scarecrow will be out in the cornfield, and when the guy is sowing, this is probably our best bet to make a run for it. Which I'm sitting there going, okay, and then they decide to stop and try to burn the fucking cornfield. I'm like, You've gone this far and they haven't attacked. Just keep fucking running and run out of the cornfield. It didn't take 30 fucking minutes to run through the cornfield. Just make a run for it, dash for it, and get to the fucking your car. Or hell, keep going and go down the fucking road. Go to a Denny's. Why you stop and then try to burn the shit, which you don't end up getting to do anyway, so it was all a waste of fucking time. Stop trying to siphon all this gas. Stop siphoning the fucking gas. Just make a run for it. Tie up your Nike shoes or your fucking Adidas and make a run for it. Do a Usain Bolt. Goddamn. Stop sticking around to get some fucking gasoline, try to burn the fucking cornfield. It's a stupid idea in the first place. Because you wouldn't know if it fucking worked to begin with. Or you know what, get out of the fucking corn, get the fuck somewhere, and then come back with a fucking flamethrower, or some Molotov cocktails, or something else, man. Just get the fuck out of Dodge, first and foremost. So I don't know why they stood around and dawdled around with this fucking shit. Because they got far enough to the cornfield. Because something about the curse, like, that person's doing their fucking sowing. Hell, as soon as they saw him come in, they should have made a run for it. Because they say they knew kind of by this point what's going on. As soon as they see the guy, make a run for it. Like a bat out of hell. Run through the fucking cornfield. Don't fucking and take your time with gasoline and do all this shit. And then the ending, they both get knocked down. The one DTT is trying to get the lighter, doesn't work. His buddy's hung upside down, did cut the shit. The DT guy tries to get in and stab it. The other guy should have told him, hey, one of these guys, I ripped off the fucking mask and they went back to being dead again. Try that. Why? I mean, you could have tried to warn the guy to do that, but he didn't. Maybe he forgot. I mean, he was hung upside down. I guess if I'm hung upside down, I'd forget shit too. But he kind of stabs the scarecrow. It gets back up. The guy grabs, run, run. Like, you should have run in the fucking first place. And then the DDT runs. I guess he gets right out of the cornfield. Then he looks up. There's their vehicle. And another group have come. Hey, are you alright? And he looks over. And the scarecrow kind of looks. And then he fakes being, like, dead. And then the guy comes up, and it doesn't even have an ending. They're coming up. The DDT kind of looks up. His throat's been fucked up, so he can't say anything, I guess. And then it ends. I'm like, but wait, he's out of the cornfield, isn't he? Isn't the whole thing is there's no... The scarecrow can't do anything outside the cornfield? Or maybe the cornfield would be like, maybe yank him into the cornfield. I don't know. Let's say there's not really an ending. So I don't even know if the lead kid died, or if they're going to die, then he... Because if they die, and there's only one person to be in the... Because if they did yanked and killed, then by your rules, there's going to be one... scarecrow, and they gotta be possessed and walk their ass all the way back to that farmhouse, make them fucking costume, and come back. That'd be enough time for you to walk, 10 feet and get to the fucking car or something. Or steal their car. And why is it that the crows keep hitting these windshields? Just like they found another vehicle that the crows hit those windshields too. So what do the crows have to do with anything? I don't know. It's just... I didn't mind some of the way the cornfield, the way it was filmed. They can create some bit of atmosphere because of the location. And, it's at least had the decency to be short. If you don't be a film I'm not giving a shit about, at least be a short film. At least you'll get some points out of me for that. And like I said, it gets quickly into the action, but the downside is I don't know who the fuck these characters are. I can't name a single fucking thing about these characters. Guy with glasses, guy who's a jock, but he's not too much of a dick like usual jocks in movies. And I think he was a jock. Again, I say that, but I don't think, was he a jock? I guess maybe he was. But you don't know anything about them, so why should I care? For good to triumph over evil, but that's pretty much it. And, again, the gore, I mean, there's a bit of blood here and there where scarecrows come up, you get little scratches and cuts. Those are decent practical effects. Don't mind the look of the scarecrows. I'm not scared of scarecrows, but, I mean, I've seen much worse scarecrow movies. Man, I just... At least have a fucking ending. Just kind of like twiddling your fucking thumbs in the middle of it in this farmhouse. Like I said, maybe it worked better as a short film. Maybe it worked better if it had a fucking ending. Maybe it worked better if you incorporate some action into it. Maybe some fire gags. Maybe, I don't know. Instead of spreading... That's another thing. You're spreading all this gasoline around. Get a fucking torch and just make a torch. So if he gets near you, you can fucking burn him. Or you just go on the cornfield and just, burn this, burn this, burn this, burn this, and... I don't know. Just fucking whatever. It's not the worst movie I've seen, but it's not a film I really liked either. So, with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.